So you want to create a mod menu or an SPRX menu. I'm going to teach you from the ground up how to get it done. It's very difficult just to explain absolutely everything, the whole 360 degrees, but I'm going to try anyways. For that reason, I'm not going to do any modules. I'm not going to break it down into small videos, but what I am going to do is lay down some knowledge for the next long time. And your ass needs to get a pen and fucking paper and pay attention. If you have to watch this video over and over again, fine. If you have to watch this video and understand there are certain parts you need to tweak to fit your environment, fine. I'm not saying this is going to be an absolutely and utterly rigid, but it's going to be an absolutely fail-proof system. Because there are some rules which are ironclad and cannot be broken, and some rules there are exceptions to. So there's going to be a bunch of learning here. So if you haven't gone piss, go piss, get some fucking popcorn, buckle up. This is lesson 1 on creating an SPRX for the PlayStation 3. Alright, let's start with the basics. The basics are as follows. And like I said, when you're watching this video, there's going to be some rules which are ironclad and cannot be broken. And sometimes there's exceptions to the rules. Here, I'm on Windows 11. If you are on Mac or Linux, this tutorial will not work. You must be on Windows 11. Okay, let's start with what are the things that we need. First, we need a jailbroken PS3 with modern firmware, likely above 4.90 or above. It can be CEX, DEX, or HEN. It does not matter. And we need the PlayStation SDK. We're going to start by searching that one up. Let's go to archive.org, I believe. Yeah, go to software. Click all software, and then here in the search bar, type in PS3 4.75 SDK. And the one that says Sony by Sony, click on this one and we will download it. 6 gigabytes. Okay, so we have that. We have the software development kit. We need one more thing. Visual Studio 2013. You must have this version. No exceptions. This is a rule that cannot be broken. Some people will tell you that you need Visual Studios 2010, but that's outdated. I'm here to show you the updated stuff. So search up Visual Studio Ultimate 2013. And it's the first one by a guy named Admin. Let's download that ISO image. We need 2 more downloads. First, we need a library called libpsutils, and it's on GitHub, so we'll type in GitHub afterwards. And it's by a guy named Skiff. Go to releases, and then download this zip file. Okay, since we have that, we need an Eboot builder for loading our SPRX into the game. Because how are we going to load our menu we just created? Well, we need a method for loading it, and we'll use the Eboot for that. So this is the download link for the Eboot builder. It's going to be in the description. And just go ahead and download that. Okay, let it download. Now we're going to install Visual Studios 2013, and I'll show you how to do that. Double click it. It's loading. Okay, open. And then we will run VS Ultimate. Here, I agree, next. I don't need any of this actually. Remember, you want the least amount of bloat. So you don't want to install everything. You just want to install a couple things. Okay, while this is installing, let's go for the PlayStation SDK that we downloaded earlier, which is this one. And we will extract this. Once Visual Studio is loaded, we need to activate it. Luckily for us, someone provided a key on the archive website. So just copy that. Can I copy it? Copy. Go back to Visual Studio, go to Help. Register product. Change my product license and paste the key in here. License key. License product has been applied. Close. We are good now. So now we install the PlayStation 3 SDK. Go back to your downloads. We extracted it, so it's this one. And just open the SDK manager. Yes. Start. Okay, so for installing the SDK, we just need a couple things. I like to download the documentation because sometimes it helps me Google some errors faster, the PDFs and whatever. So just check the SNC documents English and sell RSX hardware documentation. That's it for that. Go to tools and generators. We need the SN tools for Prodigy debugger. That's TM API. That's only if you're on Dex. And we need the SDK and the SNC PPU toolchain and the GCC toolchain. So we need these two compilers. And anything else, if you want to download the samples, it's up to you. If you want to download like more stuff from the SDK, it's up to you. That's pretty much, this is all we need. And it's only 807 megabytes. So next. Okay, so it's saying we need to close Visual Studio. So we'll do that. Retry. Install. Next. Okay, apparently this failed to install. It's fine, we don't need it. It's not a big one. Okay, so now we go to that finished. Let's check Visual Studio. Not this one, because that's the ISO. We don't need that anymore. Let's type in Visual Studio 2013, open it up. We're gonna see if we have the integration. The PlayStation SDK integration. We can check that by creating a new project. Go to Visual C++, and then you should see one called SCE, and then PS3. And to create an SPRX, we need to go to PPU project. We'll name this mod menu. Next, change this to PPU PRX project. And then SN system. The SN system compiler has C++11, so I recommend you to use this compiler. The GCC one is pretty old. It's no longer used. And for precompiled headers, this is mainly for large projects, but since we're only like creating a simple project for the tutorial. We'll leave that unchecked. Finished. This is our SPRX source. Double click the CPP file and we will try to build it. Okay, build succeeded. Okay, at this point, some of you will get some errors because you either have an old version of Visual Studio installed, like 2010 or 2012. Get rid of it and uninstall it and use Visual Studio 2013. I don't like Visual Studio 2013. We only need Visual Studio 2013 to create the project files. So I'm gonna go ahead and download the latest Visual Studio IDE, Visual Studio Free. So I'm gonna get 2022. So I don't need that anymore. Continue. Okay, so we have 2022. We only want the C++ development. And we only want IntelliCode. We don't need that. Don't need any of this. Remember, we're trying to reduce the most amount of bloat that we can. Okay, this looks fine. So that's 10 gigabytes install. With Visual Studio 2022, we can't create an SPRX project, but we can build them and we can compile them. How do I know that? Look, create a new project and we search for SCE, nothing found. PS3, nothing. What about PlayStation? Nothing. So you can't create projects with Visual Studio 2022, at least for the PS3. So how do we open our project? We need to find file system. We created a project using Visual Studio 2013. So and it's in our documents folder, Visual Studio 2013 projects, and that's the name we gave the project. And here, the SLN solution, we right click it, open with, and we choose Visual Studio 2022, open it. And I'll say always. So let's remove a semicolon and add it back and build it again. Build succeeded. So we can use Visual Studio 2022 to build an SPRX. Now remember that we downloaded this SDK fixer or whatever earlier. We need to find that now. But first I'm going to show you why we downloaded it. If we use printf, okay, so the function is not defined, so we need to include it. And it's in the standard io.h. Where's the standard lib? Might be standard lib. I was wrong. It's in the standard.io. Okay, if we use printf and say hello mod menu, and we try to build it, we are going to get a bunch of errors, and especially a linker error. It's saying undefined reference to printf. So how do we fix that? We go to our download, and we downloaded libpsutils.zip. Open this, and this include in this lib, we need to put it in our installation wherever we install the PlayStation SDK. In my case, it was the default, so it's C drive, USR, local, cell, target, PPU, and here we see an include and a lib. So here we drag and drop this, and we replace them. So that's going to fix a couple things. Printf is probably still not going to work, but if we include libpsutils, okay, now it becomes purple. Let's see if we can compile it. Okay, that's because we need to change project properties. So right click on the project, go to properties. We need to change the language to C++11. Apply. Let's see if this works. Build succeeded. So now we can use printf. No more linker errors. PSUtils comes with a couple functions. You can access them by typing in libpsutil : and then you get all these functions. I'll try to simply use a sleep for 500 milliseconds, and if we build it, we are going to get an error. Another linker error. It's because it's undefined reference to the function. So how do we define it? So right click on your project properties, go to linker, general, additional dependencies, and here we're going to type in -l for library. So -library psutil. Okay, apply, and let's try to build it. Build succeeded. So if we go to this directory, your documents directory, Visual Studio, and your project, let's find that. So go to documents, Visual Studio 2013 projects, mod menu, and if you go to PS3 debug where your SPRX got compiled at, this SPRX, if you load it right now, it will only work for CEX and DEX. It will not work for HEN. So how do we make this compatible with all three, CEX, DEX, and HEN? I'll show you how to do that. Remember we downloaded the Eboot builder? Open that up. And we will need the dependencies. Open the dependencies, copy this folder, drag and drop it into here. So now you'll see mod menu, which is your source code, and PS3 debug, your output, and the dependencies. Okay, now that's still not, it's not going to fix it, so we need to add a command. Go to project properties, right click it, build events, post build events, and here we're going to type in a command. Actually, I need to get the command. I'll put this in the video description. Copy the first one, properties, command line, edit, paste, and then the second one, copy it, paste it on here, and then we're gonna give this a description. SPRX SEE, apply. Okay, so one more thing. We need to go to General and change SPRX edit to PRX. Okay, apply. Actually, I forgot one more thing. Go to Linker, General, and change output format to PRX file. Apply. Okay. So now, if we clean the solution and build it again, and if we go to this directory now, which is the same one, PS3 debug, we're gonna get a PRX and SPRX. So this SPRX will now work for CEX, DEX, and HEN. So this would work on any console, CEX, DEX, and HEN. No problem, it'll load it, it'll execute, no issues. But later, when you start building a menu, you're gonna have hooks, you're gonna have to manipulate memory, reading memory, writing memory, writing into process. So to do that, we need system calls. So let's create, right click on your project. We're gonna add a new item. Let's call this system calls, SYS calls a CPP. Okay. And we're gonna add another one called the same thing, system calls, but this time instead of CPP.h for header. Okay, we have that. And now we're gonna add some code that's also gonna be in the description. Copy this, paste it into the CPP, system calls a CPP, and we're gonna need to include standard IO. It's actually standard int. And then up here, we're gonna include system calls with quotes because it's our file, you made it. System calls that H. Okay, now that error is gone. Okay, so a couple things. This will only work with modern firmware, like I said at the beginning. If you are on firmware 4.89, 4.90, 4.91, you are on modern firmware. This should work for you, no issues. But now, if you are on 4.80, 4.82, 4.84 DEX, and your firmware is not updated for DEX, you need to update your payload. So what I'm about to show you is only for DEX users. So how do you update your payload? We search up a guy named Aldo, tools on GitHub. Go to his profile, repositories, and we need to search for a repository called Cobra PS3. Okay, so he has two. Not this one, not the one that says Cobra. We need the Cobra PS3. Go to Cobra PS3, and you need a modern payload, which is 8.3 or 8.4. I don't think 8.4 supports 4.84, but 8.3 does. Okay, so we have 4.84 up to 4.88, but we are on DEX, so let's go 4.84. I'm on rebug, so rebug, rex, bin, and I need to download stage 2 CEX and stage 2 DEX. Download, and stage 2 DEX, download. Remember, this is only for DEX users. So once you have those downloaded, you need to transfer these two files to your PS3 on a directory called slash dev underscore rebug slash rebug slash cobra. Find this on your PS3 when you're doing file transfers or FTP. Find this on your PS3 and transfer these two files, stage 2 CEX and stage 2 DEX, onto that directory. And if you don't see dev rebug, it's because you're not inside the application called Rebug Toolbox. So on your PlayStation 3, if you are on the Rebug firmware, there should be an app called Rebug Toolbox. Open it up and then connect to the file transfer FTP FileZilla, and you will see underscore dev rebug. So how do you know if you are on a outdated firmware? Go on your PlayStation 3 and find an application called Rebug Toolbox. Open that up and click on System Information. It's going to display the system information. And if you see Cobra 8.2, you are on an outdated firmware. So my console is actually outdated. So what I would do, I'm on system firmware 4.87 and I have Cobra 8.2, so I need at least 8.3 or above. So let's go to all those two, Cobra PS3, 8.3, 4.87. Let's see if they have 4.4, 8.4. They don't. So I'm gonna have to use 8.3, 4.87, rebug, bin, and download the stage 2 CEX. Download that. And all I have to do is transfer this file. I actually have two, it looks like, because I downloaded the 4.84 earlier. So let's rename this to stage 2. And we need to transfer this into the rebug folder, as I mentioned. Rebug, dev rebug cobra. But you need to have Rebug Toolbox opened in the background. So how do we connect to that? We need a file transfer. Let's find one from the Microsoft Store. Windows SCP. Oh shoot, it's paid. I'll show you how to get free. Type in terminal on Windows 11 and type in winget search WinSCP, same application. I'll type in Y, enter, and we have two versions. I'll get the updated one, 6.3.2. So we type in winget install, and then you type this. Okay, so WinSCP dot WinSCP again. Enter. That's gonna download it. Okay, now we open the application and we will change the protocol to FTP. Host name is, let's see, what's my IP? 192.168.2.4. So 192.168.2.4. Click login. Okay, and we are remoted. So we now see the file system of the console. Remember, dev rebug, then it's rebug and then Cobra, rebug and then Cobra. And here we paste the download. We copy the download into here. Copy, okay. Yes, overwrite it. So now if we restart the console, we should see 4.83. So let's do that. Okay, let's go back to the project. Okay, we need to grab all these functions from top to bottom, not including the header, copy them, and we're going to paste them in the header. But this time, only the function definition. We're going to delete the bracket code and just leave the function definition. And for this one, we can remove the inline because it's already inline in the CPP file. You see, it's already inlined here. So continue on deleting the brackets. Remove that. Okay. Now it looks cleaner. It's just the header. Now here we can include Syscall.h, and we should be able to use write process memory. Write process memory. And the first parameter is the process ID, which is get current PID. Get current PID. And then some address. Let's do one. It's 1,000, 10,000. And we will write a uint32 underscore t value, and we'll write 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we add a reference to value. This and sign is a reference. It's a reference to this variable. And the size is, we'll do size of val, size of this value. And if we compile this, okay, I'm not sure what that error was, but I clicked build and build solution again. I was able to build it. So now this will writing to memory and reading to memory from memory should work on all platforms, CEX, DEX, HEN. Some of you will actually build an SPRX mod menu from scratch, but most of you will either download a source code from online or get one from a friend. So let's attempt to get one from online and see how it goes. Let's go to GitHub. Let's type in SPRX mod menu. Let's download recent. Okay, let's get this one. Let's get this one. There's this one again. And this one. Let's try another one more. 2020, that one's fine. Okay, so we have a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's try to build these 5. The first one was Red Dead Redemption. Let's go to download, right click, extract. And we'll actually do that for all the ones we downloaded. extract them. Okay. Actually, I only extracted one. So we have to do it one by one then. Okay, let's get the first one, which was Red Dead Redemption. Double click the SLN. And let's see if we can build them, or let's see if we get some errors. Open. Build. So this one succeeded. The next one would be, well, that one's extracting. Okay. Max Payne 3, where is it? Here is a folder. Let's see if this one compiles. Okay, that one build succeeded. We don't need it. Shoot, where's my downloads? Here. Next one, Black Ice. SLN. Build. Okay, this one has a couple errors. Let's see if we can fix them. It looks like it doesn't have C++11. C, C++, language, C++11. Build succeeded. So we fixed one error on at least one project that we downloaded from GitHub. Black Ice works. What else? Modern Warfare MW3. Let's see if we can build this one. Okay, this one has a couple errors. Okay, it's the same error, it looks like, in a lot of SPRX projects, where it's missing the semicolon. But we just go to project properties, C, C++, language, C++ language standard, C++11, apply OK. And let's see if it builds. Build successful. Nice. So we fixed two errors. And GTA 1.1.1.12 SPRX. Let's try this one. Okay, got some errors here. Cannot open file libflash. So this project is using libflash. Go to project properties, linker, general, and go to additional dependencies, edit. And then we look for one that's called flash. And we delete it. Okay, apply. Build succeeded. Okay, so we got this one to compile. That is all. So we fixed some errors. Some of them did compile, no issues, and some of them they had an error, and we were able to fix them. So how do we load the SPRX that we just created into our game? Okay, so first we need the Eboot. So let's get the Eboot. Go to your file manager, file transfer, go to HD0, go to lowercase game, and then the title ID for the game. For me, it doesn't matter what game I'm doing. I'll just do this one. I don't even know what game it is. USDIR, and then you'll see the eboot.bin. So let's get the eboot.bin and put it on our desktop. Okay, so we have the eboot, and remember the tools that we downloaded for the eboot builder. We will need that. Eboot builder. Open this eboot builder, the folder, put it into your desktop, and in-game loader, same thing, desktop. Okay, so you drag the eboot into the eboot builder, open the eboot builder, open this application called Resigner, double click it, type in 1 to decrypt eboot only, decrypt finish. Okay, so this will convert eboot.bin to eboot.elf. So now we put the eboot.elf in the in-game loader and open up SPRX elf builder, and then click the 3 dots, look for your eboot.elf. One's on the desktop, and then the same folder, in-game loader folder, and then here we type in the SPRX name. For our example, our SPRX is called modmenu.sprx. So we copy the name and paste it into here, and click the build button. And let's see if it built. So now you should get a file name named sprx_eboot.elf. So let's go to our desktop, and we put this SPRX eboot elf into the eboot builder, and we delete eboot.bin, and we will rename this to just eboot.elf. We will double click the Resigner, and here you see the output method where it says 4.xx_std. We need to change that. So type in O, enter, O, now it says Alt, enter, EOD, Alt 0, O, enter, and then we want this one. Okay, so why do you want this version? 3.xx_std. You need this version so the eboot works on CEX, DEX, and HEN. So you absolutely need the output to be 3.xx_std. And then we convert the elf into a bin by typing 2, resign non-DRM eboot. So 2, encrypting, finish. So now we have an eboot.bin that will load our SPRX. So let's transfer that eboot back. Eboot builder. Replace it, yes. And now we go back, and then TMP. So it'll be dev hdd0 TMP. And here we will copy SPRX modmenu.sprx into the TMP folder. So drag it into here. Okay, I need to drag it again, I guess. Yes. And it's right there. Now if I start the game, the following code should be executed. It should printf to hello mod menu, which will only work on DEX, by the way. Printfs only work on DEX, and then it would sleep 500 milliseconds, and then it would write to process to this memory address, and it would write 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's check what game I have. Let's see, which one was it? I believe it was this one. Let's take the icon, the PNG. Let's see what game it is. Okay, so it's Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. So I need to load up that game. But so I showed you one method to load a menu. I'm gonna show you another one. So remember the console IP here, IP address 192.168. You can actually, if you have Webman installed on your console, which most consoles do, you can just type that IP into the web browser, 168.2.4, and it's going to pull up Webman. And this is the updated Webman. I'm not sure what version it is, but go to PS3 API. And if you have a game loaded, this will come up. Eboot.bin. Click on load. Go to plugins. And here we're going to type in any of the SPRXs we have in here. So we have Paradise, SamJaces, Teening Menu, Torque, Extortion, and GTA 112. None of these are, let's say, are Black Ops 2 menus because the game we're on Black Ops 2. But this is how you would load any SPRX into the game. Let's try Inception.SPRX, which is on dev TMP, dev HDD0 TMP, and then Inception.SPRX. So dev HDD0 / TMP. I don't know why it's not. It's like this pop-up. Okay, let me just copy it. Copy the name, paste it in there, .SPRX, and then click load. And this is how you would load an SPRX into the game process without the need to go through the hassle of creating a modded eboot and extracting the eboot and renaming it and then mod menu.sprx. That's such a hassle, and it requires you to extract the eboot and make an eboot and then modify the eboot. With this method, you can just load it directly into the game and it's just going to work. So I would recommend you to use this method. It's faster